Peace, 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 family. It's Brother Coasty. Simple lesson. I'm glad you're interested in this really short tool that I'm using. In short, very basic money principles. You need to learn to manage your money. If you don't know how to manage your money, you won't ever know how to manage any resources, right? It doesn't matter if it's money, doesn't matter if it's food, doesn't matter if it's anything. You need to understand these very basic principles. This is the purpose of this sheet that you're going to get. It has three parts to it. Number one, you need to separate the money or the income that you get into three. Sorry, my bad, y'all. I can't count apparently. Into three separate areas. One is saving, two is investing, and three is spending. Let's go from the top. Saving. Some people say 10%. Disregard that sound. Some people say save 10%. I'm more on the 20% side. You need to save 20% of all that you have coming into you, right? It doesn't matter how little, doesn't matter how big. Save 20% of it. This is you paying yourself for your effort, for your work, for showing up each and every day, whether you're an employee, whether you're a business owner, whether you're both, whether you're a hustler. It doesn't matter. You got to pay yourself first. Give yourself 20% of all that you earn. Number two is investing, right? You need to invest in asset. There should be five classes or five asset classes that you want to have. You always want to have five asset classes. When I say asset classes, I'm not talking traditional finance. I'm talking about an asset in terms of something that brings you value. It can be an asset class, but these should be things that bring you value. What you find valuable is your health, right? So that could be one of your things that you invest in: health products, whether it's herb, whether it's teas, whether it's technologies, whether it's sound bowls, it doesn't matter. That's one of your asset classes. You need to have five of those. It can be stocks, right? And I suggest orienting your mind around something similar to, it brings you money, it brings you happiness, it brings you freedom. Something along those lines. Those are five asset classes that you want to get tapped into. And the last thing is spending, right? By the way, investing is going to be 30% of your income. And the last asset class is spending. This is your lifestyle. Look, I know right now, if depending on how you operate and how you live, you might be saying, yo, I can't live off of just 50% of my income. We're going to have an honesty hour. You might not be able to, but the other part of it is, where are you really spending your money on? Right? I understand that some things are expensive, but we have to recognize what's a necessity and what are wants, what are luxuries that we can't afford right now. The purpose of this sheet is to give you a template, give you a budget sheet, but it's also for a reality check so you can start tracking where your money is going, and also being honest with yourself about, yo, you don't live a luxurious lifestyle. Live a simple lifestyle until you start generating more income, more cash flow. Look, that's pretty straightforward, right? So 50% goes towards that. Um, the wealthy, that gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Of course, they're making more income, right? So 50% of our income, some people make $2,000 a month. $1,000 is damn near impossible to live off of unless you live in a very small apartment, that's very, very cheap, and you don't really have much, and you eat very little. So I know that might be a stretch right now, but say you're bringing in a little extra money, or maybe you have a side hustle, maybe you're working two jobs, or maybe you're a two-person household. You have to learn to be creative with what you got going on to get at least to that point where you're living below 50%. Look, I know it can be a stretch. I know it's hard. I want to emphasize you to pursue this goal, because if you can get yourself to live and operate under 50% of your income, you're practicing discipline. And financial discipline is resourceful discipline. And whenever you learn to be disciplined with the little bit that you have, you will actually be granted abundance, because you're shown that you are a worthy steward. Okay, but that's just a quick overview of this sheet. In other words, all you gotta do, there's two sides of it. Over here is the income, so you're gonna put the date clearly. You're gonna put where the income is coming from. So if you're not a business owner, you just put job, and maybe how many hours you worked. What it's gonna do is automatically separate it up into how I've designed it: 20%, 30%, 50%. If you're not savvy with Excel, just change the 0.2, 0.3, or 0.5 to whatever percentage that you want. So 50% is 0.5. If you only want to do 10%, that's 0.1, so on and so forth. That's this side of the sheet, or one side of the sheet. The other side of it is your expenditure. So you should be tracking what you're spending your money on every month, every day, really every day. I'm big on every day because you shouldn't be spending every day. And if you are spending every day, you need to be able to track what you're spending it on. If you're not a business owner, you're not buying inventory, you're not buying things to promote your business, you should not be in a purely consumer mindset. Family, this is important. Do not be in a purely consumer mindset. Instead, being in an investor mindset. Where can you put your money for it to grow, not for you to just squander it away? But this is a very high level overview. This is the sheet. If you're interested in maybe working out a plan, getting your life back into alignment, if you feel like you're burnt out all the time, you're running ragged, go ahead and visit my site, IALLG.com. You can schedule a consultation call. It's absolutely free. It costs nothing to you but your time and your presence. You can find that at IALLG.com. With that being said, this is Brother 𝐿𝐾. I hope you enjoy this sheet. Peace, family.